decided to go to Honduras and take my 14-year-old daughter, Alyssa. Before we left, I was very hesitant and almost didn't take her due to everything you hear on the news and people questioning about me taking her to that country. When we arrived to that country, we noticed how beautiful that country was and how friendly and loving those people and the culture is there. It was one of the best decisions that I did as a parent for her, to take her so she could see different cultures and the way people live there, and that all they want is just love from people. They give that type of love back. It was one of the best experiences, and me and Alyssa cannot wait to go back.
Whenever I got there, I didn't think I would like it that much. I just thought that I was going to be more excited to go to Roatan. At the end, it was really hard to leave because they became like your best friends, but we just said that we're going to come back, so.
I keep fighting voices in my mind that say I'm not enough. Every single lie that tells me I will never measure up. Am I more than just the sum of every high and every low? Remind me once again just who I am, because I need to know. Ooh, oh, you say I'm loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I'm strong when I think I'm weak. And you say I'm held when I am falling short. And when I don't belong, oh, you say I am yours. And I believe, oh, I believe what you say of me. I believe the only thing that matters now is everything you think of me. In you I find my worth, in you I find my identity. Ooh, oh, you say I'm loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I'm strong when I think I'm weak. And you say I am held when I am falling short. When I don't belong, oh, you say I am yours. And I believe, oh, I believe what you say of me. Oh, I believe. Taking all I have and now I'm laying it at your feet. You'll have every failure, God. You'll have every victory. Ooh, oh, you say I'm loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I'm strong when I think I am weak. You say I am held when I am falling short. When I don't belong, oh, you say I'm yours.
been doing mission trips for 25 years now. Alan and I have. We've been taking our kids since they were young, and it's been amazing to watch how they have a heart now for missions and for loving on other people in other countries, and that's awesome. This trip was probably the hardest one that I've ever been on, and the best. I mean, it was the best because we got to meet some amazing people. Most trips we usually go on, we just jump from one church to another or one village to another, and we're in different places every night. And this trip we got to be at the same place every day, and we got to bond with these kids in the school and in the home there. And it's really been difficult to come back and adjust to life here because I feel like a piece of me is still there with those kids.
I was able to teach in the school when we were in Honduras. I teach 5th grade in Oklahoma. I've been teaching for 9 years. I'm with children every day. The week before we left, I was kind of like, ugh, I'm going to be teaching on my spring break. I need a break. But then God just put on my heart that it was going to be awesome and that it was going to be amazing. And I got real excited about all the lesson plans that I brought over to teach and share with the teachers and the students there. So when I got there, the first thing I noticed was that the students, their hygiene was amazing. They looked beautiful, like their hair was combed. They took pride in their uniforms. They were proud of being at school. And that was my first observation, was just like, wow, these kids don't have anything. They don't have running water in their homes. They have sinks outside. Not everyone gets the opportunity. And then when we got in the classroom, I can't even tell you what it was like as a teacher to be able to teach those kids, because they were your perfect students. They were so excited about just being there. They were happy. They weren't arguing with each other. There wasn't fighting. There wasn't laziness. They were eager to do the activity, and they were so excited to do it and very competitive, which is always neat to see kids so excited about learning. That's not something I see in my classroom, and it's not something that you see in the States, really. So I think that's just one thing that I will remember, is just how excited those children were, and they truly were dedicated to their studies. Their penmanship was amazing. Their English, first grade class, they were able to say their ABCs and their numbers and colors. So the things that are happening at that school and at the boys' home it's just amazing what they're doing for those kids and providing them with quality education and just an excitement for learning.
Sometimes it's hard to breathe, all these thoughts that shout at me, try to bring me to my knees. And it's overwhelming, darkness echoes all around, feels like everything is crashing down. Still I know where my hope is found, and it's only you. And ooh, you say you're working everything for my good, and ooh, I believe every word. 'Cause even in the madness, there is peace, drowning out the voices all around me. Through all of this chaos, you are writing a symphony,
truly know if you compose beautiful music though. From all my unruly notes, the distance is distant, it's moving close. Now I see, erase the scales from my eyes, then play the scale of my life. Chaos played off with a chord and a chord with a source, preventing through strifing. I've tasted suffering, I've been embraced by the painful buffering. I've been bound by doubt so loud right now, but a melody is made when you play these rusty keys. So we all gotta get pressed, tuned up like instruments. But I know all of life's tempo is set whenever we remember this.
Even in the madness, there's peace, drowning out the voices all around me. Through all of this chaos, you are writing a symphony, a symphony. And even in the madness, there's peace, drowning out the voices all around me. Through all of this chaos, you are writing a symphony, a symphony. Oh, 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 a symphony. A symphony.
My favorite part of Honduras was just how the boys attached to us so easily, and it didn't matter that if you weren't good at what they did, they just attached to you and they'd play with you, and it was nice that they just hopped in and played, and it didn't really take them time to attach to you or anything. They breathed soccer. That's all they did there was play soccer. I wasn't very good, but they still played with me. They made me keep up, and it was a great week.
I liked Honduras because I like to be with the kids. When it was time to leave the boys' home, it was hard because I got so attached with the boys, and I made a lot of friends down there. Oh, my shoe came untied, and I forgot his name. Alberto tied my shoe for me. So when I was there, I met a boy named Wilmer, and he said the translator said he had to leave, so he left me a note, and I forgot what it said though. So it was Father's Day there, and the class did a dance, and they wanted me and Alyssa to be in it, so we did it, and I was really nervous and scared, and even though I couldn't understand it, you could tell that it meant a lot to them. And so it just really touched my heart.
Breathe, breathe in your peace. Be the calm my fighting soul needs. When I'm weak, you are strong, and you say that I am yours. And fear has no place, and the darkness cannot remain. As you speak over me, and you say that I am yours. The battle rages, but you have won the war. You see my sin, still you have called me yours. And there is no fear now that you haven't conquered. And all these demons my Savior, and death is no more. I stand on the promise of all that you've done, so I fight from the victory you've already won. My cry in the battle, my strength in the war, is Jesus, my Savior, and death is no more. I stand on the promise of all that you've done, so I fight from the victory you've already won. My cry in the battle, my strength in the war, is Jesus, my Savior, and death is no more. I stand on the promise of all that you've done, so I fight from the victory you've already won. The battle rages, but you have won the war. You see my sin, still you have come yours, and there is no fear now that you haven't conquered. And all these demons, they're under your command. All of my shame falls away in your hands, and there is no darkness where you don't shine brighter. There is no darkness where you don't shine brighter.
Just want to tell you a little bit about my experience in Honduras. I have a ton of stories, and it was an amazing time. So if you are thinking about going or hesitating on going, I wouldn't. It was a it was a great experience, a life-changing experience. But I think the thing that stuck out to me the most about going to Honduras was, other than the kids, of course, was something that Jim said. And Jim is the gentleman who over Heart for Children, and he kind of orchestrated the trip and was our guide while we were there. Father's Day is a big deal in Honduras, or where we were at in Honduras. I don't know about all over Honduras, but in that part of Honduras is a big deal. They let out schools in that whole area for Father's Day, and the fathers came, and the kids put on plays and skits and danced, and it was something to see while you were there. But Jim got up and spoke on a couple of different to a couple of different crowds, and his message was the same to both crowds, and that is the impact that fathers have on their kids' lives. He mentioned that a study shows, or something shows, that that the way you are to your kid's first memories of you is also the way they see God. That's their first ideals of God and how He is, and that really hit home to me, because not that I think I'm a bad dad, but the fact that that's not something I've ever thought about before, and I've been a little more cautious of that since that was said. But he talked about the epidemic that we have in the lack of fathers, and that was even in Honduras and even here. And it's I mean, you know, statistics show it's really bad here. So I don't know if they have statistics for Honduras, but I could guess it's equally or worse. But that really stuck out to me, that being the man of the household, and not to knock ladies or anything, because I know there are a lot of great single moms out there that are doing everything they can, but the dads being the head of the household and participating in church, participating in your kids' lives, and showing them that love. I think that's something that I, as a man, as a father, should do more of. And I, like I said, I think I do an okay job, but that really stuck out to me, that men should step up and and do what God called them to do.
One of the things that impacted me the most about our trip to Honduras was when we met Mary on our first night down there. Mary was, or is, the co-founder of the Boys Home, and she told a story of her husband and how she had always wanted to have children. And after being married to him for several years, she knew that she wasn't able to have children with him, and it was something that always bothered her. And people asked her, why do you keep dwelling on this when you have all of these boys here? And when that was said to her, she realized that God placed her in a position to where she could be a mom to all of these boys in this home. And now she feels enriched, and she gets to share her love with all of these kids. And that really spoke to me because, you know, we have one beautiful child, but we wanted more, and we even went through a process of trying to adopt, and that didn't work out for us. So going down there and hearing her story kind of opened my eyes to think that maybe we could also be parents to these kids and help them see the love of God through us, and help them know that there's more people out there that love them.
Off my lungs.
I got a lot of questions on why I would go on a mission trip outside of the United States whenever the United States has so many issues and there are children that don't have clothes and children that don't have food every day. And my answer to them was, why can I not take 1 week out of the 365 days that I'm here in the United States to go and share God's love with people outside of the United States? While I was in Honduras, I was able to be part of the mission team. I was able to help in the schools and also just spend time with our boys at Niños de la Luz. While in the medical area, I noticed a lot of difference between the people in Honduras and the people in the United States. The people in Honduras, I felt like they came to the clinic because there was simply just a doctor there, and they're searching for answers. They're searching for mainly just medicine because they feel like that's the cure. Also, when I was in the schools, I noticed that those kids were so hungry for education and just so excited and so happy, even though when they go home they might not have a meal. I heard a story of one of our mission team members talking about how this little girl was so happy and just loved her dad so much because he worked so hard that she could go to school. Spending time with the boys at Niños de la Luz was absolutely life-changing. I feel like, along with the rest of our CLC mission team, that Honduras is our second home, and that's where God just laid it right there in our laps, and that's where we're meant to be. That's why we were able to go to Honduras this spring break, and I feel like God spoke into every single person that was on that trip that is where we're supposed to be.
When I was there, I had a couple of days in medical, and then the last 2 days were with the boys. We experienced patients from a child with strep throat to a 102-year-old man with heart disorder, but several children. I noticed that typically the parents wanted medications for their children. It would range from thinking that they had worms or thinking that they had strep throat. Some of the parents seemed to be dissatisfied with the fact that they didn't get medications. They felt like if they didn't get medicine, then they weren't being treated. It was a lot different being in the States versus being in a third world country. We tend to be able to seek medical attention anytime we want it. Over there, the doctor's there once a week. And they have to choose between caring for their other children or seeking medical attention for one. There was a story where a young boy was very sick and had been treated medically at a hospital, came back home, got sick again, and when one of the doctors explained all the lab tests that needed to be done, they told the doctor that their child would have to die because they had 3 other children to care for. The doctor I was with is very focused on teaching, educating the people there in Honduras about taking care of themselves versus just taking a bunch of medicines to treat the symptoms. Diabetes, he wants them to eat correctly versus just taking insulin and eating whatever they want. He feels like education is going to be the best for his patients there. He has been back there about 6 years now. He actually studied in Cuba. Honestly, he said he had no intentions of ever coming back to Honduras, but said that God had a different plan for him, and he is now treating people right in the same city that he was born and raised in. We got to spend a full day with the boys, and there was this one boy, his name was David. He spoke very little English, but he could understand, and come to find out he has 3 other brothers there. There was just something very special about him. He was pretty much my shadow all day on Thursday and grabbed my hand when we got ready to leave. There's not one special thing about him. He was just precious. I really feel like the boys there they just want to be loved. They just want to be showed love. And not to say that Mary doesn't show them love, but they like that additional love that we gave them. Each and every one of them has a very different personality, for sure.
Peace, bring it all to peace. The storm surrounding me, let it break. At your name, I'm still. Call the sea to still. The rage in me to still. Every way. At your name, Jesus, Jesus. You make the darkness tremble. Jesus, Jesus. You silence fear. Jesus, Jesus. You make the darkness tremble. Jesus, Jesus. Breathe, call these bones to live, call these lungs to sing once again. I will praise Jesus, Jesus. You make the darkness tremble. Jesus, Jesus. You silence fear. Jesus, Jesus. You make the darkness tremble. Jesus, Jesus. Your name is light that the shadows can't deny. Your name cannot be overcome. Your name is alive, forever lifted high. Your name cannot be overcome. Jesus, Jesus. You make the darkness tremble. Jesus, Jesus. You silence fear. Jesus, Jesus. You make the darkness tremble. Jesus, Jesus. Jesus, Jesus. Jesus, Jesus. You make the darkness tremble. Jesus, Jesus.
We recently went down to La Ceiba, Honduras, and we worked with a mission group called Heart for Children. Heart for Children started a boys' home, and it was to help boys that were just street children and really had nowhere to go and nothing to eat, no family. And I mean, they were just left on their own. The boys' home is called Niños de la Luz, which means Children of the Light. And from the boys' home, they've since been able to start an elementary school, which is kindergarten through 6th grade. After the children get out of 6th grade, they currently have to go out into the city and go to high school within the city, which means that a lot of them can't afford that, or that they aren't going to get a higher education at all. Some of them have to ride the bus in, and it's very dangerous to ride the buses. So they've had the opportunity, God bless them, with a building and property for a high school. So they're working to get that up and running just as quickly as possible. And with that came a medical clinic on the same property. With our team of 18 people, we were able to take 4 who were medically trained. 2 of our others helped them out, so we had 6 on the medical team while we were there. We also had a handful of them that painted one of the boys' bunkhouses while we were there. And then the rest of us worked in the schools during the time that we were there. So taking a group of 18 people is certainly difficult, not just with fundraising, but keeping everybody in one place and keeping track of what everybody is doing. But This team of 18 people, you could tell it was God ordained that we were all there. Everybody jumped in. They did what they were called to do. They went above and beyond for the people there. We made connections, not just with the boys, not just with the children in the school, with doctors, with our translators, with the people who run the school, the educators, the administration there, with even the chef at our hotel and the people who were serving food there. And that's what Chickasha Life Church does. We believe in relationship first, and then showing the love of God through those relationships. And it was very evident that we took the love of Christ to Honduras with us through those 18 people that went with us. I know that we're certainly ready to go again, and Honduras is our mission home.
And remember, quien encuentra a Dios.